Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of our Back on Track video series. Today I'm joined by Kevin Peesker, CEO of Microsoft Canada and Chairman of Tech Nation. We are really glad to have Kevin with us today. Kevin is a proven tech leader with 28 years experience in over 70 countries. He's held leadership roles in finance, marketing, sales, ops, you name it. But perhaps the most exciting is that Kevin has recently been promoted to Corporate Vice President at Microsoft, which means he is going to have even more influence globally and strategically than ever before. Kevin's also very passionate about driving collaboration between technology and government and industry, and we're really looking forward to tapping into that passion today. So Kevin, thanks for joining us today.
I'm thrilled to be with you, Angela. Thank you.
I want to start out with your role as the chairman of Tech Nation. You and I have been working together for a couple of years now, and it's been good so far. Thanks for your support. I just want to get a sense from you, why was it that you took on a role like leading an association like Tech Nation?
Well, Angela, you being part of it makes me want to stay for longer. So thank you for your leadership and the way in which you've stewarded the organization over the last couple of years being with us. As you mentioned up front, 30 years in the tech industry. The past 8 years, I've been active with Tech Nation, and I started out just as a tech leader that joined the association, then became a board member, then an executive committee member, and now I've been chair for the last couple of years, as you mentioned. It's been amazing and unbelievably rewarding to see what can be accomplished when we all work together towards a common goal and when we share best practices and advocate with other leading organizations and with government. So specifically, I'm super passionate about the role of technology in driving Canada's digital economy. And Angela, you're well aware, we have over 36,000 technology firms in this country, tech firms who generate over 1 million jobs. And as a body, we invest more in R&D, approximately $5 billion annually, than any other private sector group. So therefore, when it comes to my role in the industry, being a proponent for the technology sector, there's no better place to be aligned than to be aligned with Tech Nation. And I think this fundamental belief that the tools and the services we develop and produce in our industry, they can significantly improve the competitiveness of Canadian companies, but they also can enhance the quality of our communities. And that's why I volunteer my time and my energy.
So that's a really good segue, Kevin, because the next thing I wanted to kind of run past you was the fact that Canada has been losing ground competitively. You and I have spent, I've seen us both on stages talking about our concerns with the decline in Canada's decline in the tech sector. An example of this is the Bloomberg Innovation List and the fact that Canada now sits 22nd between Iceland and Slovenia, or 21st as a technology adopter, according to the World Economic Forum. So, these numbers are pretty staggering, and I really wanted to get your thoughts on that and whether or not there's anything that kind of keeps you up at night thinking about Canada and the slide that we have in terms of our technology competitiveness.
Angela, you and I believe, as well as our peers who are part of Tech Nation across the industry, we are all intrinsically aligned to a premise. And the premise being that tech adoption is key to driving our digital economy forward. And for organizations to remain competitive, not only against each other within the Canadian ecosystem, but more importantly at a global scale, the numbers that you shared are frightening. They really, really are. The view from the World Economic Forum, the United Nations, it's deeply, deeply concerning, not just to me as the leader of Microsoft Canada or the chair of Tech Nation, but also as a proud Canadian citizen and a father. I don't think Canada should rank 20th, 26th, whatever the number is outside of number one in anything. That's just my own penchant for the belief in this nation and the capability of our people. But when we break it down, I think there's government and organizations like Microsoft and like our peers in the industry. We're making significant investments in technology in Canada. And a great example would be taking AI, artificial intelligence, as one lens. Canada is ranked among global leaders in terms of talent and capabilities. We have here in Canada great minds like Joshua Bengio, Jeffrey Hinton, and others. Universities like Waterloo, U of T, UBC, University of Alberta, University of Montreal, that are doing fundamental groundbreaking research. And we've had this sort of bloom in startup ecosystems across the country, which is amazing, starting with Mars, Invest Ottawa, Element AI, Amy, LeComp in Quebec City. As a country, we've significantly enhanced investments in skilling, both at the government level and at the industry and academic level. And while we've done a lot, Angela, I believe our global competitors are doing more.
Right.
Well, yeah, we are. As we're ranked number 3 in creating AI, we're ranked 9th out of 10th in adopting AI.
Yeah.
So it's really, really clear that organizations who embrace the power of the cloud, of data and AI are more likely to grow, more likely to be competitive globally, and quite frankly, as we've seen over the last few months, be more agile in transforming and responding to disruption. So, yeah, I mean, there was a recent quote. Our CEO Satya Nadella said he's seen 2 years of digital transformation in 2 months. And we've seen that right here in Canada. Organizations that had adopted cloud technologies have been much better positioned to be successful. And I
Right.
recall a year ago saying the future is now, in the sense that we must either transform as Canadian companies, as a Canadian government, or we will be transformed. And that reality really became clear and apparent over the past 7 months.
I kind of want to look at the role of big tech in terms of driving economic prosperity for Canada, particularly with the COVID crisis that we've been dealing with. And there's been a tremendous amount of investment in startups with the government, but there's a gap with the world of the scale ups and the small medium enterprises, those companies that have commercialized, they have IP, they're selling product, but they're just not getting to that next level. And as you know, Tech Nation really advocates on this. We're working closely with the government to drive more modernized, agile procurement, more accessible procurement for the small, medium enterprise. I know Microsoft is heavily invested in Canada in R&D and accelerators like Mars. Is there a role that big tech in Canada could also play in terms of enabling that SME space or that economic recovery? What are your thoughts, Kevin?
We talked a little bit about focus areas and things that we should be touching on that's critically important for during the recovery. I think that our nation's digital economy as a whole, the key to small businesses succeeding, growing, morphing into larger organizations that play on the global stage, the key is really skilling. And with
Right.
all of the digital transformation and the need for digital skills that we've had in the past, the need in the future is even greater. And we've talked about the skilling component before. Tech Nation has been a core advocate for skilling at a national level. Microsoft's participating here as well. But recently, in a KPMG survey, I don't know if you caught this one, Angela, the KPMG CEO survey that was launched just 2 weeks ago, 85% of CEOs are placing more capital investments in purchasing new technology versus 67% at a global level. However, when it comes to skilling, 16% of Canadian CEOs are placing more capital investment in developing tomorrow's workforce skills and capabilities, which is less than half of the rest of the world. So when you ask about what else can government and big tech be doing, I think there's a phenomenal opportunity here, both from a government perspective and also in partnership with other leading firms like Dave Mackay at RBC, who in driving have this belief in that driving our capability of small firms relies upon talent, and getting our young people employed with practical experience is a core action for us. And so from a Microsoft perspective, bringing this all together, we're focused on three key areas. First, providing our young people and future leaders with the skills they need. Second, upskilling those currently in the workforce. And then third, reskilling job seekers who are looking for a role in this growing ecosystem of technology. I think when we move forward and we accomplish those actions, we're going to be able to better support the capabilities and the scale out of our companies in the Canadian ecosystem and help take them global.
I really want to understand from your perspective where you think the biggest tech trend is for and biggest opportunity in terms of tech trends in Canada right now to focus on the next 12 to 18 months, and if you think there's a role for Tech Nation to play in that. But what is it we can do in a short amount of time to start, moving things forward and getting further ahead?
Yeah, that's a great question, Angela. And I guess I'll bring a little bit of my insights from engaging with customers to this one. I've met many leading CEOs in this country who really do get it. Great examples would be Roy Gorey at Manulife, Bharat Maswani at TD, Mark Little at Suncor, Don Lindsay at Tech, Linda Hassan-France at Linamar, Guy Cormier at Desjardins, coast to coast, large organizations. And then those Canadian companies like Mike Messenger at Point Click Care, who have fundamentally gone global, they get it when it comes to the the criticality of tech intensity within their organizations. So, what am I seeing when I engage with these leaders and when we are dialoguing with small, medium, and large businesses and governments of every shape and form? There are a couple of core trends that I think are there right now. Number one, a trend that's been going on for quite some time has been organizations getting themselves into a position to be able to modernize with speed and agility. And one of the core ways that they've been undertaking that has been by moving into cloud related infrastructures or cloud software applications. So, infrastructure as a service, software as a service. Now, this trend line has been going on for a while and it's accelerated rapidly in the last year and a half, 2 years, but it is still nascent in terms of the actual impact. And when I look at other countries outside of Canada, the UK government, the work that they're doing, the Australian government, financial firms in Japan, in the UK, in France, and Germany, there is a massive globally. There's just so much effort going into providing a platform for modernization. The second component is what most organizations are truly trying to get a handle on is this thing called data, which we've been talking about forever as an industry as well. But it's one thing to talk about it and it's another to do it. It's kind of akin to someone trying to get fit by watching someone else go to the gym. You actually have to participate, right? And so when it comes to data, this view that data being core to the modernization of applications and those applications taking advantage of the power of platform technologies in the cloud, of cognitive capabilities which provide for predictive analytics, which provide for the next best action, enhance customer engagement, a streamlining of processes within a firm. I'm seeing those two become as key, paramount new trends. The third one, of course, is super obvious, and we're going to see a lot more. Is the virtualization of everything? And if there's something that would be my plea to Canadians across the country, it would be to demand of our provinces, every province across the country, because we are decentralized in health, but it would be to demand that we think about the engagement with our health system in a different way. And we're seeing some private firms do really good work. about, my next best doctor and visits that are remote from someone's home. That can be done at scale, and the efficiency for our healthcare system at province-wide levels not only can help us diagnose and catch existing or emerging issues early in the cycle, but it can streamline and give every Canadian a better sense of comfort that they can engage with a doctor without having to take hours out of their workday, without having to go into an environment that may have other people that have some form of an infection or others, and be able to have that dialogue with their doctor in a streamlined way to enhance the efficiency of our medical system. There's so much we can do in that regard as a country.
Great points and really great insight. Great talking to you today. It's always fun. Miss your Canadian jacket, though.
Angela, it's always a pleasure to engage with you. Thank you for the work you're doing to support the technology ecosystem of Canada, to ensure that our government understands the importance of this industry to all 37 million plus Canadians, and to ensure also that we are leading with diversity and inclusion. We're building skills across the ecosystem. We're giving young people the opportunity to have real world experiences. And we're doing all of that while we build the capability set of Canadians across small organizations to large, and support the economy of this country. Thank you so much, Angela.
Thanks, Kevin.